So, another Jurassic Park movie. Wait. What's up, everybody, and welcome to my review of 65. Thank you so much, guys, for clicking here. I really do appreciate it, as always. So 65 tells the story of an astronaut who crash lands on this mysterious planet along with one other survivor, only to discover they are not alone. To be perfectly frank, guys, I can't really talk about this movie without comparing it to Jurassic Park or Jurassic World or any of the Jurassic films. There is so much comparison to those films in this. I mean, how can you not think that? From the moment the trailers popped up, I was like, is this another Jurassic Park movie? No, wait. It's a different title, but the same premise. But was this for me? Did this make me roar or crash land like a meteor? Let's find out and start with the positives for 65. I gotta say, Adam Driver, he was pretty cool in this. This is the only movie that I've seen him in, aside from maybe a couple of Netflix movies that I've skimmed through but have not seen. But he was pretty cool in this. He was basically the main character of this, the main astronaut that crash lands on this planet. And he just has that survivalist instinct that's detrimental to the story. He played somebody that you want to root for, that you want to see survive, and just the way he played this character off. He was a pretty integral part to this story, to this film. And it worked very well. I was actually reading up on this guy before I actually went and seen this film. He actually served in the military some years back, which is something that you hardly ever hear about from actors. Nowadays, anyway. And I thought that was pretty interesting. It kind of made me like the guy a little bit more. 65 for his part, he was pretty good. I really liked his character. Like I say, it just showed that survivalist instinct that you wanted in a film like this. And it just made you root more and more for this character as the film went on. And the chemistry between this guy and this girl who was the survivor that survived with him, I thought it played out really well. They pretty much played it out like a father-daughter moment, which they weren't really related character-wise in the film. She plays like sort of like this surrogate daughter to him. They kind of make it as like this surrogate daughter to him to make up for the loss of his past. And I thought they played off each other pretty well. You know, she doesn't speak any English, so there's kind of like a language barrier there. So he ends up having to try to learn and like draw pictures on dust and dirt and stuff. It's like, we've got to get here to see our family, and then we've got to get here to get to the ship. And it was kind of cute, which made it for some funny moments in this. Like, there was some funny moments to where they would, you know, just kind of pick around with each other to kind of ease the tension of this crazy ass situation that they were involved in. And it was kind of like a tension relief, a much softer point to what this movie was trying to bring out, especially with all the craziness that was happening. And they tried to make the best out of this situation that they were in. The action was actually pretty cool for a film that was made on a dime. It was made for like $45 million, which most action movies are made for like triple that. But for a film that was made for the cheap, it actually had some pretty decent action and CGI, especially with the dinosaurs and crash landings and these meteors coming. And you wouldn't think that it was made for that much. Like, I think it was only made for like $10 million more than Scream 6. Despite that, it was actually pretty satisfying. I walked away, you know, really surprised. And I think that has a lot to do with the pacing. This movie clocks in about an hour and 33 minutes, which at first did make me kind of nervous. I didn't want it to be too, you know, fast-paced. I didn't want it to be, too short for me to actually enjoy everything that was being told, and especially the action. It did sort of make me nervous at first, but walking out, again, surprised. And because of that, I think that's why the action was so much more than what I thought it was going to be, on a budget for how much this movie was made for. And the film definitely delivered on that era. It definitely delivered in that integral part of it. You get a lot of high tension moments. Like, there's certain moments to where the whole entire theater would go quiet, and then boom, some creature would come out, popping out of that character, and just attacking him or her, and it made me jump every time. And I'm somebody that jumps really easily anyway, so when it comes to movies like this, and you're watching it in a theater, and you see creepy scenes like what this movie showed, and then just all of a sudden, bam, something pops out at you, I jump. And I jumped quite a bit in this film. And that's pretty good. That means the film was doing its job. I'll say just those creepy moments that really, intrigued me. The film had its moments, that's, for the most part. But what did not work for me as we get into our negatives, which I only have one. The film was a blast, actually, surprisingly. But what did not work for me as we get into the negatives was the fact that there was some logical errors in this film. They set up this whole establishment in the first act where you're introduced to Adam Driver's character. You know for a fact that he's got a family and that he says goodbye to his daughter in order to do this mission. And he's transporting these people to God knows where. And next thing you know, he's in this asteroid shower in space, and then which forces him to crash land on this Earth. And I felt like that there was a point to where it was cut out to where you go from point A to point C and completely cuts away point B. He's this different species who's much more evolved. He's got all this future tech, and this is set 65 million years ago. And then he just crash lands. They don't give you any explanation on what he's actually doing, who this guy actually is, where this guy was transporting these people, who these people were. Because there was I think it said around, and it's in the 60s of people that he was transporting. And then that's when this bad stuff happens, and you just don't get no clarity at all. Like I said, it just felt like it goes from point A to point C and completely cuts out point B, cuts out the middleman. And it's like they were saying to you, you pay for what you get. We're not going to bother you with any extra details. You're going to come here for the meat. You're going to come here to see this guy run away from dinosaurs. We're just going to deliver on that. Don't worry with the details. And I feel like that was kind of a missed opportunity, because it just seems like if they'd have put a little more effort in a first act, that would have built up his character a little more. As much as I liked Adam Driver in this film, because he does have his moments, I felt like character-wise, that would have built up on his character just a little bit. It would have gave him more clarity. It would have gave him more of a sympathetic level. And plus the fact that you find out nothing about what happened to his daughter. Next thing you know, it shows a scene of what happened to her with no explanation on that either. And it's like it completely cuts off the emotional ties that you want a character like this to have. That you want to feel for this character. But because of all the cuts they did and just the fact that they didn't bother with any of the details, it just made it kind of less interesting in that sense. Again, it goes back to what I said about the filmmakers just wanting to, get down to the nitty-gritty and just the hell with all the other small little details. Details like that usually gives a movie meaning. It usually gives characters meaning. It usually gives the story meaning. And it just completely derives from what Adam Driver is trying to do. And his motivations, especially towards this little girl that he's trying to protect. This whole thing just kind of blows up in their face because of that. It doesn't really give you any clarification as to why he's doing the things he's doing. Plus, I do feel like it kind of capitalized on Jurassic World a little bit on that franchise, because you're dealing with this planet that's inhabited by dinosaurs and these people trying to survive. That's kind of how Jurassic World was. But other than that, as much as I wish it would have gone into more detail and all that, I had a fun time in this movie. This movie was a blast. It was a fun time and a happy accident. 65, what was your thoughts on it? Have you seen it yet? Did you enjoy this take on the dinosaur subgenre Is this something that you could sink your teeth in, no pun intended, or was this not for you? Leave me a comment down below and give me your thoughts. Thank you so much once again for watching this. I really do appreciate it. Like, subscribe, comment, and share the big four. Make sure to click that bell icon so you don't miss a thing. And I will see you on the next one. Peace.